Hello friends, and welcome to another video. You probably already know from the title of this video, but this is going to be a Q&A. I'm actually going to have two parts. This is going to be the fitness part, which you probably also know from the title of this video. Getting ahead of myself here. I posted this picture a couple days ago, and asked you guys to ask me a bunch of questions, and I got a ton of really good ones, and I want to answer as many as possible. So I asked you guys if you wanted me to make one obnoxiously long video or two long but less obnoxiously long videos, and I got, like, basically everyone said to separate it into two videos. So I looked through all the questions, and there were a ton of really good, like, personal ones, and also a ton of really good like fitness and nutrition related questions as well. So I figured today I'll tackle the fitness and nutrition realm, and then in my next video, which I'll probably record tomorrow or the next day, I will do the personal questions, or like the more general broad ones, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm just going to scroll through. No promise that I'll get to all of them. I know there was some that were very similar, and there are a lot. I think I got like over 100 questions. So I'm just going to answer as many as I can, and yeah, that's that. First question from my girl Emma, aka Coffee and Commandos. She said, do you focus more on heavy lifts or more form and pump focus? So I definitely do more form and pump focus. I do a lot of isolation exercises, rep ranges between like 10 and 25, just because of my goal right now. So I'm really working on bringing up specific muscle groups, and so yes, you can build a ton of muscle doing strength focused movements, and it's not to say I don't do any strength stuff. Like, I do squat and deadlift and whatever, but I'd say the majority of my training is focused on more like accessory isolation movements, just because I have specific muscle groups that, like, I personally need to bring up. So I have to, like, focus on hitting those, and getting blood flowing, getting a good pump in those areas. You know what I'm saying? What's one thing you wish you knew when you first started your fitness journey? There's so many things I wish I knew when I started my fitness journey. Let me tell you. But you live and you learn, too. And it's really cool to actually, I think, to kind of look back at where you started and like where you were mentally and physically versus where like I am today, because it's insanely different. But the first thing that comes to mind is just like, I am me and I need to focus on myself. I definitely used to like get caught up in the comparison game, and I think for a long time, like before I had a coach doing my macros and stuff, like I literally would just like look and see like what other people are doing, and what other people do doesn't work for you. You know what I mean? So like, I mean, you guys know, if you have been subscribed to my channel for a long time, like how much I have to eat to grow and how slow growing is for me and all that kind of stuff. And I wish I knew that, like, that's okay. And like that I'm weird, that it was okay that like I needed to eat a lot more, because I was that person who was like scared to go above like 200 carbs because like no one else was. You know what I mean? And so part of me is like, damn, I could be a lot farther now if I hadn't like wasted all that time like not doing what was like best for Lexi, you know? Do I prefer big corporate gyms or small private gyms? So I've done both. The gym that I trained at, like when I was in school, was kind of like a mid-sized gym. It was a corporate gym, but it was smaller. Really like that. When I moved up north here, I worked out at a smaller gym. And honestly, I wasn't a fan, but it was like an older demographic, so that might have been part of it. Right now, I train at a 24-hour super sport, and I actually freaking love it, just because they have everything. The one that I train at is actually very like bodybuilder focused. Like, I see people every day when I'm there that I've like followed on social media for a long time, or that you're like, damn, they're like 2 weeks out. You know what I mean? So that part's really cool, but then there's also obviously people who are just like general fitness people, and I like love being around those people too. I think I'd be able to train at like a small private gym like every single day though. I'm just like, I don't know, I just like being around a lot of people. What tips do I have for hitting my macros exactly every day? I am really good at hitting my macros on the frickin' head every day. Obviously it's fine if you don't, but I don't know. I take pride in that. And honestly, a lot of it is just time. But I think the couple things that I would say that a lot of people don't think of is one, like MyFitnessPal, whatever app you're using, you don't have to use like full servings or half servings. Like you can type in, I don't know, like I'm trying to think, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and then type in grams after, and it'll come up in the gram serving. So you're not stuck to eating 28 grams or whatever the serving is. You can literally put in like 32 and adjust things so that they are like very weird, or like I'm gonna eat 112 grams of rice. You know what I mean? Like you can make it, you can adjust things very, very, I don't know what the word is. You can adjust things to be like to the freaking gram, you know? So that's one thing. The second thing would be just plan out your days. Like I literally every night while I'm laying in bed before I fall asleep, or like while I'm watching TV on the couch with my roommates, I just like plan out my next day. I just plug it all in and I don't stop plugging in until I hit my macros perfectly. I got so many questions about California, so coming in the next video. How many hours do I sleep at night? I guess we'll just throw this one in here. I've been a lot better. When I was working and coaching, I was sleeping probably 3 to 4 hours a night. Now I sleep 7, I would say, because my body wakes me up every morning at like 7 a.m. And typically I'm in bed by like midnight, sometimes a little later, but yeah. That's what I would say. I usually sleep from around midnight to 7:30. Okay, am I active during the day? For example, hitting a specific number of steps? No. Like, I don't go for, like, hitting a certain number of steps or anything, which totally goes along with the next question from Carmen Lives. Hi, girl. She said, what are your thoughts on getting 10,000 steps a day? Do you think it's necessary or just something stressed within the fitness community? So I think it's important to move your body during the day. In terms of the 10,000, I really don't like that. And I think it might be just because of my background and getting someone who gets so caught up in numbers. And I get asked all the time by people like how many calories my Apple Watch says I burn and like that kind of thing. Like I don't keep track of it. I don't. The only thing I use my Apple Watch for, like, fitness wise, is to measure my heart rate if I am doing like cardio or like on a leg day, like waiting for it to come down a bit between sets. But I just don't like the idea of being like a victim to a number. Like what you're gonna go I think it's weird when I see people like go an extra time to the gym so they can like get their steps in. Like I don't know, it's weird to me. And I get the point is to be active during the day, but you have to realize the majority of America, like, they just sit on their butt all day. And like, yeah, I know I said I sit on my butt all day, but like I do go to the gym. So I would say like it's important to be active, but I really don't like the 10,000 steps a day thing. Like I say just be conscious. Like for me, I guess the way I move is like if I need to take one of the puppies for a walk, that is like my movement, or I'll take like phone calls. I always walk around just because like that's how I am. But I literally have never looked to see how many steps I get because I'm guessing it varies greatly day to day. And I don't like the 10,000 thing because I think it is very like, it could become super obsessive. I know it would for me. If someone was like, you have to get 10,000 steps, I would like make sure I got 10,000 every day. And I don't think that's like a healthy relationship with exercise at all. In terms of why I'm like not doing any cardio, it's just because I'm bulking. So for me, it's really hard to put on size, and my body is super sensitive. So it just helps with like nutrient partitioning, 1, recovery, 2, 3, just decreasing my caloric, increasing my caloric surplus by not being super active. But like, again, I don't obsess about it. I'm not like, Lexi, don't move. And I'm not like, Lexi, I have to get 10,000 steps, you know? What is my favorite body part to work out? And how many times a week do I train and for how long? So I train 5 days a week. Typically I'm there about an hour to an hour and a half. Sometimes a little longer if I like see people or whatever. Favorite body part to work out is glutes for sure. For sure. There's just something about a good leg day. I actually really like training quads too, but I haven't in a hot minute because my quads are so dominant. Opinion on intermittent fasting. I don't recommend it. I would say it really depends on you and your goals. I know some people just like really don't like breakfast in general. I think the one time it can come in handy is if you are cutting and you need, and like you have a really big appetite and you're really hungry, condensing all your food in a shorter window. But I really don't see a benefit in like going through part of your day without having energy from food in your body. Like I just don't, I guess I could never do it. I don't think it's like the worst thing in the world, but I don't think it's like the holy grail or anything, you know? How do I know when I need to adjust macros? So it really depends on your goal, and so if you're looking to grow and your weight is stalling, then you need to increase. If you're looking to cut and you're not losing, then you need to adjust. Honestly, this is one of the reasons why there's like so many things that can go into it, and I could do like a whole video. But this is why I think having a coach can be very, very helpful, because I think a lot of times it's hard when you're doing your own macros to be objective and to approach it without like emotion behind it or like second guessing yourself, and to just look at all the variables objectively. So that's just one reason I recommend getting a coach. But I mean, all in all, just like if you're not making progress towards your goals, you gotta adjust. How do you know when you should enter a mini cut after bulking? So I actually talked about this on one of my client Zoom calls this weekend, and I thought it was a really good question, so I'm going to try to consolidate it a little bit for this. There's a couple different things that will lead me to start a mini cut with one of my clients. So the first one would be someone who their goal initially coming to me was to cut, but they were at a very low intake when they came to me. And if you come to me and you are not eating like barely any food and you say you want to lose weight, I'm going to be like, sorry, we're going to reverse diet you first. So once we get their food up to a good level where I feel comfortable that if we pull back, we'll see progress, that would be the first reason I would start a mini cut. Second would be someone who their food intake gets very, very high. So in that case, sometimes like digestion can get thrown off. You can just hit a plateau, and that's due to like insulin sensitivity being off as well, so your body just isn't responding. So that would be another reason that we would start a mini cut. Another thing that it could be, besides just like being at a very high intake and wanting to give digestive systems and stuff a bit of a break, would be someone who they've been growing for a while and either their body fat is at a level where I don't want to keep adding food and keep adding body fat, or if we're at a place where I'm like, damn, we've built a lot and I want to see what we've built. So then that would be another reason that we would start a mini cut. Oh no, what happened? Well, that's annoying. Favorite low fiber carb sources. So if you guys don't know, fiber can be very bloating if you eat it in excess, and it can, like, fiber is this great thing to a certain degree. A lot of people don't get enough fiber, but if you're eating too much fiber, it can cause I can't tell you how many clients I've had come to me when I tell them to decrease their fiber, they feel less bloated, less constipated, less full, all the above. So fiber always comes in carbs, so that's why she asked this question. Low fiber carb sources: white rice, rice cakes, a lot of different like sauces and stuff I think are yummy, and like honey or barbecue sauce don't have a lot of carbs, or I mean a lot of fiber. Pancake mix, cereal. You have to be careful with cereal because some of them have a lot of fiber, but like typically the like yummy sugar ones that are like the best anyways don't have a lot of fiber. How many hours do I have in between my meals, and when do you eat your pre-workout meal? So I eat my pre-workout meal probably like 30 minutes before I get to the gym now. Like 30 minutes to an hour. I literally eat, drive to the gym, walk into the gym, and then train. And usually that takes about an hour by the time I like get all my pre-workout and stuff mixed up. How many hours between meals? I mean, it really depends. I don't have like set times that I eat my food. I kind of just like know that I eat 5. I know around what time. So I guess usually it's like 3-ish hours, I would say. My last 2 meals are much closer together, but I would say on average they're like 3 hours, sometimes 4, but that's that. Okay, this is gonna be my last one from my girl, my client, Katie Surfs. Who do you look up to in the fitness world? And who did you look up to when you started your journey? So, I mean, I think I look up to a lot of people in the fitness world, and it just depends, like, what part. Like, there's some people who I really look up to for, like, their business in the fitness world. There's some people who I just think are really freaking smart, and I love learning, like, science and stuff from. There's other people who I'm just, like, you're overall just, like, you're just, like, general inspo. Some people who I'm, like physique goals, not even that they're goals, but I'm just like, wow, damn, like, you look good, you know? In terms of, like, a general, like, competitor, I mean, I would cry if I met Courtney King. I would be in tears. I think, just everything, like, from when she won the Olympia to, like, just what she stands for and what she does now, and she just always kind of, like, does her physique is phenomenal. I'm just, like, that's how I feel about Courtney King. So, that's that. And then when I started my fitness journey, in terms of who I looked up to when I started, I feel like the whole, like, Instagram fitness world has changed so much since I got on Instagram. But when I first started, I was, like, a huge, Emily Duncan and Marie Wald were, like, this. They, like, came as a joint thing, and I was, like, obsessed with them, like, obsessed. I also actually followed Taylor Chamberlain, like, before I think she, like, was below 20K, like, before bodybuilding.com, like, all that stuff. I followed her, and I just thought she was, like, so sweet. So not that I necessarily was like, oh my god, she's my inspo, but just, like, watching her grow since I started has been really, really inspirational. And then, obviously, like, Nikki Blackketter was, like, a huge one. I was, like, obsessed with her YouTube channel, like, binge watched all of them in, like, a week. So those are probably, like, the big ones who I look up to. It's so funny because I mean, I still, like, love all of them, but it's just weird, like, thinking back on that because it feels like so long ago, but it was only a couple years, or a few years, a couple years. Anyways, I think I got most of the fitness related questions here. I'm actually really excited to do the personal one, you know, save the best for last. They're just, I don't know, there's a ton of good questions, but let me know what suggestions you have for future videos. I have a ton of really, really good ideas that I, like, talked about and shared on my Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, what you doing? But anyways, I hope you learned something. I hope it was helpful. Lots of fun stuff coming your way, so get excited for that, and I will see you guys in the next one.